What's going on, guys? Tennessee, 3 trips to the second week in 3 straight years. Can this be the year, though, that they make a trip to the third weekend of the tournament? This is Kerry. He's Kerry. This is Frank coming in at you. Tennessee advances 67-58. Pretty tight game for a good bit of the first half, and it seemed like once Tennessee got going, they never looked back tonight. What to you was the key in what turned the game tonight?
Definitely good defense. They were having success against us. Kind of both teams were of just kind of throwing punches back and forth. I felt like Tennessee made the adjustment late in the second half to go to the zone defense or the full court or half court press, whichever one it is, and it honestly never really looked back after that. Even more halftime adjustments were made, and that's kind of been the theme this season. Is there's been a lot of halftime adjustments from Rick Barnes' team, and they've had a lot of really good second halves this year. So that's kind of what I saw. Definitely in the second half, I think they just shut them down defensively. I know we were 11 minutes into the second half, and they had only scored 12 points. That's just not that's not a lot of scoring whatsoever, especially in a basketball game. I mean, that's on pace for pretty much 20 points and a half of basketball in the second half of a round of 32 game. Like, that's just not good. So Tennessee definitely shut them down in the second half and made the shots. I mean, it wasn't like Tennessee was like totally on fire in the second half. It was just we kept on making good enough shots. We got rebounds. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a minute, just how great we rebounded the basketball tonight against a team that kind of did have a little bit of a size advantage, I feel like, especially when they had the 7'3" freak that can't foul in the game. So overall, great performance, great second half, great game. Tennessee, we were all worried the first like 10, 15 minutes of that game, and then Tennessee kind of put the foot on the gas once they realized, like, hey, we can't let them hang around because this could actually be a disaster for us if we let that happen. So overall, Rick Barnes masterclass. Chaz Lanier is March. Zakai Ziegler's the little guy running around the court, never gets tired, and just going to throw it to grandma in section 30, seat number 5. Overall, just awesome. Just awesome. Love going to the Sweet 16 again. I mean, that's Tennessee basketball right now. We're not Final Four, Final Four, Final Four. We don't make a Final Four. You're broken hearted. That's just not Tennessee basketball. This is the best Tennessee basketball's ever been in my lifetime, and probably ever will be again in my lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, mine too. I mean, we'd been to the one Elite Eight back under Bruce Pearl, but I mean, other than that, this is the most consistent, best Tennessee program in Tennessee history. The numbers back it up as well. I've said it before, and I'll still maintain it. The Jerry Green years, those teams had the most talent of any Tennessee team. Only problem, Jerry Green was a freaking idiot and couldn't coach and didn't give a crap about coaching. So, those players made it as far as they did in spite of Jerry Green. But I totally agree with you on the night. To me, what changed the game, and you hit on it when they went to that like full court press, that trap defense, that seemed to be a game changer. I thought it was big too. Got UCLA in foul trouble. A couple of their best guys were out for a good portion of time. I thought that was big as well. And I'm not really sure why, but Cronin did not play Mara very much in the second half, it didn't seem like. And
he did get pretty tired in the first half.
Yeah, so, and maybe that's part of it. But
if they're trying to claw back into the game, especially, I get maybe once he was on the bench for a few minutes and Tennessee expanded that out to 10-point lead. Like, it's a hard decision to kind of say, let's put the 7'3" guy in, because that's going to slow your tempo down. And it's going to be hard to cut back into the lead with him in there, just considering how big he is and how you have to run the offense through him and how much you have to slow down because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And, they started, of course, Clark was out part of the first half. He was UCLA's main guy. Of course, Bilodeau was pretty solid. Other than that, though, they really didn't get much. Mara was pretty solid in there. He got away and with a major foul that they were really just praising that block on the telecast, and it's
weird.
a block.
Yeah, was just weird because, like, whenever they went to commercial after they showed it, like the up close version, it was like they kind of went like, oh, like that was
Yeah, it was horrible, man.
the opposite. So I was like, this makes no sense.
It was horrible. I mean, the same blueprint held true again tonight. Chaz Lanier goes for basically 20 points or more. Tennessee's undefeated. Chaz on the night went for, I think it was 23. I pulled it back up here. No, he went for 20. There you go. That's the magic number. There's Ziegler 15, Gainey 13. When those guys go for 40 or more, Tennessee's hard to beat. They went for 48 tonight. If they do that, you're going to have a hard time beating them. Akpara 4-7. Milicic 4-7. He was more active on the boards tonight. My biggest thing with him, he has those moments where it's like, what are you thinking, man? I thought it was pretty key a couple times in the second half. Meshack, he spotted up. They hit him. He did not think twice about it, and he hit two nice-looking threes. So he showed all along he has that shot. And because those were not clock winding down, you had to make a desperation. He was set up. He was ready. And he looked really good on that one. I mean, I thought Phillips was pretty active tonight as well. I mean, Phillips, of course, had to get his, it's not a Tennessee game if you don't get your patented foul on a three-pointer in.
Yeah.
In the game.
That was the icing on the cake. It was actually pretty funny. Rick Barnes may actually have a laugh on that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't remember. I was kind of in and out, not paying attention. Somebody threw it in and Chaz tried to save it and it ended up going out of bounds, which was they was getting a little careless. It was a good thing the game ended because that last 30 seconds was not Tennessee basketball. But yeah, man, this team 3 years in a row now, going back to, and it would have been never mind, because they had won the SEC championship tournament and they got put out by Michigan. That was 4 years ago. I guess 2 years ago now you look at it. Ziegler, that's when he got his injury, went out. Everybody thought the season was over. His team made the Sweet 16, had a perfect path to the Final Four, and just FAU in Madison Square Garden. I heard the announcer mention, 2 years ago, and when we were there in Madison Square Garden, I just cringed and shook my head because that night still, I was livid on that night. But, make sure you guys hit that like, that share. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We got 208 in here right now. Really appreciate you guys on this late one, staying up with us, tuning in tonight. I think Tennessee fans, it wouldn't matter if it was 3 o'clock in the morning. Tennessee fans would stay up. And if there was a post-game show to talk about it, they would be there to talk about it as well. Super chats, super thanks. Those are greatly appreciated as well. I think it's bottom right-hand corner. If you hit that, those are available as well. I'll kind of look through the comments here, see what we got. Looking or not looking like it is. It's Kentucky or Illinois in the Sweet 16. Do you have a preference?
Not really. I mean, it would be either way, it's going to be a storyline matchup. I mean, Tennessee plays Kentucky. We already know what that storyline is. You play Illinois again. They want payback for what happened earlier in this season back in December. Of course, I want to play Kentucky. Like, I don't want them to avoid this matchup. I want this to happen. I mean, if Illinois wins tomorrow, I'll be okay with it. But I want to play Kentucky again because I want to beat them and then hopefully get a nice draw for the Elite Eight matchup after we beat Kentucky, because that would be awesome. We make a Final Four and we beat Kentucky to do that in a year that they beat us two times in the regular season. So I'd love Kentucky again. Everything in me wants Kentucky again. But if we get Illinois, I won't be upset about that either. So overall, whoever we get, it's March.
I want Kentucky and I want Purdue. There's no bring on whoever. I want Kentucky and I want Purdue. That's the two I want to get to the Final Four this year. And I say that knowing that Kentucky beat Tennessee twice this year. And could they beat them a third time? Absolutely, they can. I just think things will be different this time because the first loss, Tennessee was coming on a heartbreaker at Auburn, an extremely physical game. 3 days later, they're right back at it. And, Kentucky was faster on that night. Ziegler got hurt in that game too. And, that was a pretty tough one. Kentucky shot the lights out. The second one, I think I was a lot more pissed off over that one than I was the first one. Of course, we did the live show that night as well. And, Kentucky just had guys that don't score much all of a sudden shooting the lights out that night. And I know they're a really good shooting team, but third time around, it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. And I say this not as if, we're the last team into the tournament playing, a top seed. We're the freaking number 5 overall team in the nation. I'm just not scared of them. And the competitor in me and the guy who's coached wants the best, especially if somebody's had my number. I want another shot at them. Put myself in those shoes again. I want another shot at Kentucky. And I would bet you money that Ziegler, Meshack, all these seniors would like one more good shot at them as well. They beat Illinois. We don't need to play Illinois again.
Yeah.
The shoe changes a little bit because if you play Illinois wants some revenge. You play Kentucky. If there's a guy on that Tennessee team that doesn't want revenge on them, they don't need to make the trip to Indianapolis next week. That's just the bottom line. But, should be a good game between those two tomorrow. And
should be.
I won't be surprised either way. Illinois seems to be playing better basketball right now. Kentucky seems to play to their competition, is what it looks like to me a lot. I mean, they've beaten Duke, beaten Tennessee a couple times. They've beaten Florida, and then they've lost to Georgia, Vanderbilt, which we lost to Vanderbilt as well, and some of that. But, we'll see where it is. I mean, I would think we get Houston as well. Some of you are saying no way Purdue beats Houston, but I wouldn't count Purdue out on it.
No.
Purdue, I mean, they were the national champion. They know how to win. Their coach is a good coach, regardless of what I think of Purdue. I don't like Purdue. Purdue knows how to win, though. Houston's definitely the favorite. I would not just say at that point anything's out of the realm of possibility. And I think for the most part, this Sweet 16 is going to be pretty even matchups across the board. I mean, we've not had that huge. I'm trying to think today, what was the biggest upset today that made it? I mean, at most is at BYU. I don't even know if that's an upset, then beat Wisconsin or not. But we'll see.
That's the only upset. We'll
see on that. Did the first half, the way it started out, did any of that surprise you along the way, or did you kind of think, oh, Arkansas, that's right, Arkansas beating St. John's, that was a big upset today. I was surprised by that. But did anything at the start of this game tonight really surprise you any?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect it to kind of come out like a fist fight to start. That wasn't necessarily what I was expecting. And then the officiating to start the way it did, that was just crazy. I mean, we had 4 fouls in a minute and 12 seconds. So that was a surprise. I was like, crap, we're going to be stuck here for 3 hours tonight. Thankfully, they swallowed the whistle in the second half, but the first half, it opened up. I was like, we're in for a good one. I was sitting there, we're a few minutes in, and I was thinking, there's no way either one of these two teams pulls this game like a big lead out. I just didn't see that happening the way it was going back and forth. So for Tennessee to win the way they did, considering the way the game started, I mean, that's great, because I was personally sitting there thinking, Tennessee, UCLA, this is going to be like a 5-point game with under a few minutes left to play.
Yeah. I was the same as you. As soon as them whistles started, it's like, here comes a 70 free throw game tonight.
Yep.
But, it was pretty good after. There was some, I don't know, I felt like there were some calls. Obviously, the Milicic one where he gets his
I
arm
saw this.
just killed on it. Mara for them, I thought he just went up. Meshack went with him. I didn't think it was much. They called him for a foul. Called Meshack for the foul. I thought on the other end, Tennessee had one that was just the same. And, that kind of the wasn't really called there. But, yeah, like I said, thankfully they swallowed the whistles after that one and went with it. My two biggest keys coming into this game, because I looked at all of them. I mean, we looked at coming in. The teams were almost identical in their points per game, 74.8, 74.7. Well, neither got close. And I really kind of didn't expect them to. Their defenses were pretty similar. Tennessee's ranked, I think, third, according to Ken Palm. UCLA was 15th. Their field goal percentages were pretty close, 45 and 46%, 3-point, 34 and 35%. Free throws, I thought that was one Tennessee could get them on. So free throws tonight, UCLA was 11 out of 14. Tennessee was 14 out of 16. A little bit of a difference. Couple more attempts, 3 more made. So there's 3 points you got going. Another one I looked at was rebounds. Tennessee averages almost 4 more per game. If you guys hear any noises in the background, I got a little situation. I live out in the mountains. Table Rock Mountain right across the road here is on fire right now. So there's a state of emergency. We're safe, but there's been planes and stuff dropping water since last night. So there's a lot going on here. It's one thing after another right now. Anyhow,
There's one in Knoxville too.
There's something on fire in Knoxville too.
Yeah, it's in like the Halls area because I went out to take my dog out at halftime and you could smell it all the way in West Knoxville.
When they say that you shouldn't burn, there's a burn ban. They
Shouldn't
mean
burn.
it.
Yeah.
That means
They're not lying
everything
to
is
you.
dry. And if you light a cigarette and throw it down, you're going to catch everything on fire. Yet people are too stupid or selfish to realize that, and they'd rather burn the whole place down than actually, because some pyromaniac's upset he can't build a fire. Some punks got up here and caught them on fire up here. So use common sense, people. It's not that hard to do. Now back on top here. Rebounds. That was another one. Tennessee smoked UCLA on the rebounds, on the boards tonight. Big difference in the game. They absolutely smoked them on the boards, 36-26 tonight. And that ended up being a pretty big difference. I mean, because Tennessee turned the ball over 18 times.
Yeah.
To only 11 for UCLA. But I wish for some reason, with the tournament, we don't get the same live stats stuff that we get like in the regular season and stuff. I wish we got those. I've just got to go by the ESPN stats here. But the rebounds, that was a big one. And that was one that stood out to me because most of their metrics were really, really close along the way. So with this team doing it as well, I mean, we look at the boards. Akpara 7, we've talked about it. We need Milicic to get boards. He got 7 of them tonight. Ziegler 3 boards, Lanier 4, Meshack 1, Phillips 6, Gainey 2, Dubar 0. So your main 3 guys you need, Akpara, Milicic, Phillips combined for 20 rebounds tonight. UCLA's main rebounder was Mara while he was in with 5 rebounds. And other than that, you had Bilodeau 4, Kobe Johnson with 4, and Stefanovic with 3. That's, again, that is in a game that was expected to be physical and a game that was expected to be more of a defensive game. You've got to find where's that advantage. There it was. Tennessee's bigs came to play tonight. And I don't know. I looked at UCLA coming in, and they didn't really – I wasn't scared of them, but at the same time, I knew if you don't play your game, it could be a long night against them. Would you say this was a dominating performance?
Absolutely. I mean, it's just on every facet of the game is definitely dominating. Especially, I mean, the entirety of the second half was dominant. So I guess you could add maybe the first or the last 2 minutes or a minute or whatever of the first half, and it's like 22 minutes of just dominating basketball from Tennessee. So overall, just dominance. I mean, there's nothing else you can really say. I mean, it's just Tennessee did everything you asked for them to do. They made every single halftime adjustment that you could possibly imagine, and then they go out. They shoot 50% from three for the entire game. Like that's not something we typically see from Tennessee. So that's probably the most surprising statistic that sticks out to me personally. But overall, just that's great basketball. I don't think you'll see a much better performance from that the rest of the way. It's going to be you're going to want that kind of performance, but that was an elite performance right there.
Which half did you feel like was the more dominant?
Second.
Funny enough, they outscored them 32-25 in the first and just 35-33 in the second. I totally agree with you, though. I felt like the second half, it was not even close.
They just scored a lot at the end whenever it was over. I mean, there was 5 or 6 minutes left in the game, and it was over. Like UCLA was not coming back. It's just how the game was going.
Yeah, it got up to, at least 19.
Yeah.
It's not right about 20. It was right at 20 that it got up to. And I felt like it was in that 15, right around 15-point range for a good portion of it. But, yeah, you had the foul on the 3 at the end. You had some careless plays there as well where we got, general, totally agree with you. Got sloppy at the end on that one and made it closer than we did. I agree with Zachary Barge here. I'll hit a few comments we go through. I still think we need more out of Igor than we got. And for me, it's just like I thought he was much better tonight, but he has those plays where you're just like, come on, man. What are you doing? Yeah. It's what does this team could this team play like they did tonight and beat Kentucky?
I mean, if they play
Kentucky, I mean, it could be Illinois, but
yeah, if they play exactly the same way tonight, any game down the stretch, they win. I don't care who it is. Like that's just Tennessee had the recipe for a win. You out rebound them, you shoot 50% from three, you dominate them on defense, you get in their head, and you just shut them down. Like that's Tennessee's going to win every game that goes like that. I think this is the Rick Barnes masterclass, you could call it. This is the Rick Barnes book. This is the Rick Barnes book of how to win a basketball game. That's exactly what Tennessee did. And if Tennessee does that again, they win. I don't care who we play. You could bring in the Cleveland Cavaliers for the national championship game. And if Tennessee plays like they did tonight, they'll definitely win.
Chaz has got to go for 20.
Yeah.
We know that. Or I think it's technically 19. Let's just call it 20. Let's round it up to 20 and go with that. Tonight you held UCLA to 30% from three-point. I don't think if it's Kentucky, I don't know that it would be reasonable to expect this team to hold Kentucky to 30% from three-point range. But let's say you hold them, say, 40. I think you got a pretty good shot on that. And to me, the big thing on it is when Kentucky goes to drive, somebody can't collapse on them and leave a dude wide open because that's where Kentucky made them pay a lot. Now Kentucky has guys who can just flat out shoot right over you. Florida did the same, but it's that's going to be the big one for me. But the thing in those two Kentucky matchups, and we're talking about them like it's foregone conclusion, they could lose tomorrow very easily. Kentucky probably played about their best defense of the year.
They did
in those two games, and it's like it seemed like they challenged Tennessee to beat them from three. I think there is a recipe there, though, for Tennessee. I feel like teams have been trying to dare them to do that, and they seem to be getting to the paint, starting to create some foul. That's how they came back against Florida, was they started driving it last week, I thought. Man, y'all are all over the place with comments. Y'all want to talk baseball next year's roster. Heck, y'all ready to talk some football here too tonight? I mean, that's
spring football time.
Yeah, spring football. But I don't guess we know for sure when they play next week, do they? Is there
they play on Friday? I don't know what the time
it is for sure Friday.
That's what it said on the broadcast was Friday.
Okay.
So it doesn't it doesn't time won't come out, of course, because the other team still has to win a game. So,
Yeah.
did
Okay.
you see the layout of the stadium that they're doing?
Uh-uh.
So they're playing in Indianapolis,
They're playing at
Colts Arena. Yeah, they're
what
playing in
is
the Colts Arena.
Lucas Oil
Yeah,
Stadium?
Lucas Oil. They're cutting it in half, so it'll look very interesting. I saw a picture of it. I don't like it. I think it looks stupid, but that's just my opinion. I don't think basketball games should be played in football stadiums because it's too stinking far away. But it's like cut in half. So you got the football field. It's like on this side. The basketball court will be on this side. They'll have the bleachers for the on the court kind of seats and stuff, but it looks okay. I've never been a fan of basketball games in football stadiums like we always see in the Final Four and the national championship game, but it
They
is what
normally
it
put
is.
them down in like a corner, don't they?
Yeah,
And kind of build around that.
yeah.
Because like half of the stadium is not being used pretty much. Let's see here. So you said Friday. Somebody on here saying Thursday. Let's see.
I hope we play on Thursday. We play on Friday. I can't watch it. I mean, I'll watch it at work.
I was
Like
gonna
I always
say, come
do, but
on. You
yeah,
know you'll be
yeah.
tweeting and watching it the whole way. Let's see here.
I'll be cutting in and out of watching the game. Then again, last year when we played Creighton, I was at work. Last year, whenever we beat FSU or the Miracle comeback against FSU into the College World Series, I was at work. So sometimes some really good things do happen whenever Tennessee plays sports and I'm at work.
I don't think we know either way right now, based on what I'm seeing.
What day we play?
Yeah, I don't see anything on the official NCAA website. It does not say who plays, what brackets play Thursday and which ones play Friday.
That's just what it said. I mean, it literally popped up on the broadcast. It wasn't something they said. They just popped it up and it said, winner of this game will play Friday in
Oh, okay.
Indianapolis. That's just, I don't know if that may not be true because broadcasts put up wrong statistics and wrong stuff like that all the time. So,
Yeah. Well, I
I
mean,
would
you know, if
love
they
for it to
put
be
it
on
up,
Thursday.
I'm just trying to see. You very well may be right on it. The NCAA website does not. Let's see. Hang on a minute. We might have something here. So that'll be what, Indianapolis?
Yeah.
The 28th and the 30th is Indianapolis. That's Friday and Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah,
So I'll be
that's
working
according to the NCAA website because it says East Regional, Newark, March 27th, 29th, West Regional, San Francisco, March 27th, 29th, South and Midwest, March 28th, 30th. Yep. So Tennessee will play Friday on here. No idea on the bet. I'm sure Kentucky's favored tomorrow. I don't know what that is. Man, I'm telling you, I just don't subscribe to the theory of I don't want Kentucky. Again, I'm afraid of them. That's the competitor. We're ranked fifth. They're ranked below us. I know they beat us twice. I want them again.
Yeah.
I can assure you, if they had to pick, that these Tennessee guys want them again. And if they beat us, so be it on it. I am never going to be afraid to play somebody. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm never going to agree with that theory. Now, if we're a 500 team and I will say this, in the college football playoff, when it was looking like we might possibly get Georgia, I was saying, yes, I don't want Georgia in the first round.
Yeah.
I was happy to get Ohio State.
Yeah. Till we went up there.
What you wish for. But I'm not afraid of Kentucky.
No.
You're not afraid of Kentucky. Tennessee is. They can't beat them. That makes no sense on there to me. But you know, I see what you're saying on it. I still think Tennessee can beat them. I still think Tennessee can beat Kentucky. I really do. I thought Kentucky shot out of their minds 2 games, and at some point, Barnes is going to figure that out. Barnes is not an idiot. You give him a third time to figure it out. Because Kentucky's going to come in doing the same thing, as they should, Barnes and his staff will figure it out this time. And Tennessee's playing arguably the best basketball they've played all year right now. You just made a pretty good run in the SEC tournament. You've controlled 2 games right now. And I don't care who you're playing. If you get the type of wins they did in these first 2 rounds, I mean, we saw St. John's go out today. We've seen multiple teams on it. Do you think we can get? Yes, I think we can get revenge on Purdue.
Yeah.
We can beat anybody in the field. I mean, we've beaten Auburn. We've beaten Florida. I know Florida got us twice, but we beat them once too. I really think we could rough Duke up.
Yeah.
I mean, now I don't know if Cooper Flagg is at that point where he's already getting the preferential treatment or not, and it is Duke. But I mean, yeah, I mean, Kentucky's got what? Robinson's out for the year. Butler is hurt.
Yeah, he's playing.
But they looked pretty good last night. And, we may be, putting the cart before the horse. And like Big Orange says, we may play Illinois again. It's very possible because Illinois is starting to play pretty good basketball. Again, Illinois got a hell of a point guard on their team, too. I can't remember how to pronounce the name right now. I'd have to look it up. But, I mean, we found out real quick. Any final thoughts on tonight?
I mean, I would just say overall it's just a great day. I mean, you beat Alabama in baseball and then got lucky and then have a great Tennessee day and beat UCLA again tonight. Like that's just it's kind of hard to wake up this morning and say Tennessee's going to win in baseball and basketball today. It always feels like as a Tennessee fan that's kind of asking for a lot, but we got gifted that today. So you got to be nothing but grateful for that because I wasn't 1,000% sure after Tennessee won the way that they did in baseball that tonight wasn't going to be a little bit scraggly. That definitely made me get a little bit more nervous considering Tennessee baseball dominates Alabama, and then Tennessee has a round of 32 matchup against a really good UCLA team. So I got a little bit concerned personally about how the game would play, and then the game started the way it did. It was like, okay, we're in for one, and then we actually weren't. So overall, just great to see Rick Barnes get it done again in the first round. In the second round, go to the Sweet 16 for the 3rd straight time in 3 years, first time in program history. I mean, the way that he's commanded this program has been absolutely amazing. Can't be nothing but blessed to have the guy. I mean, love the guy with everything in me. I mean, he's the best coach for Tennessee basketball you could ever imagine. Overall, enjoy tonight, although it's technically now tomorrow. Enjoy your Sunday. Get you a little preview of Kentucky and Illinois, how they're playing this time of year. And then you get a week, essentially, to relax and wait for Tennessee to play again. So it's definitely a good time. You can watch every game tomorrow knowing Tennessee's already in the next round. So, and there's nothing that nobody can do about that.
Yeah. And hands down, Barnes, best coach in Tennessee history. It's not even debatable.
Yeah.
At this point, some of you Pearl lovers, you can sit and go on about Pearl all you want to. What Barnes has done is much better than what. And I appreciate Pearl. I do. I don't like Pearl. I don't like him just for the way it ended and stuff. I do appreciate him, though, because he is the one that put Tennessee basketball on the map. But at the same time, what he gave Tennessee, he took away from them because we basically got 4 years of probation out of his antics. Thankfully, right place, right time. Rick Barnes leaves Texas, and we get him. Rest is history. People are speculating all this. I know my thought on it. Do you think that Barnes will hang it up at the end of this year?
I can't fully confidently say that he's back next year or he's retiring. I think it's just one of those things that we're going to have to wait every single day after the season ends and just kind of hope that we don't hear any news. We don't hear the Rick Barnes is hosting a press conference news. Like that's just something that we don't really want to hear. I hope he doesn't hang it up just considering how the roster looks for next season. And that's a whole different story in itself. So I hope not. I still would love for him to come back. I mean, best basketball coach in Tennessee men's basketball history. There's not even a question about that at this point. So I want him with everything in me to come back. But if he does decide to hang it up after Tennessee makes a Final Four run this year, then so be it. and then happy retirement. All I got to say. I'll be incredibly grateful for what he's gave to this university.
I fully expect he's back. I fully expect it. I mean, and maybe it goes either way. I mean, maybe if he wins it all, but all the people around him, dude, come on. Barnes is night and day better than Bruce Pearl, dude. Give me a break. Compare the records and stuff. Pearl brought him back. How many Sweet 16s did Pearl go to? Pearl went to one Elite Eight. Barnes has gone to one along the way. It's not even close, man. And what Pearl did at that point in time was a major violation. He lied about it. He was given another chance. And then he went and made accidental contact with a recruit, which put the nail in the coffin here. I can't argue with the Pearl better than Barnes people. It's a proven fact. Barnes is better than what he did. Yes, Pearl resurrected Tennessee basketball, but it's not even close. It's not even close. And in my opinion, too, yes, he has a lot to replace next year. Here's the thing about it. How good has Rick Barnes been with this transfer portal?
Amazing. It took him a swing and a miss or two, but these past 2 years, of course, for the past 2 years, he's been absolutely perfect.
He's got his cooler full of Pepsis ready. He's got his fishing line. He's got his bait. He's getting ready to go out and cast the net and rack up in the transfer portal.
Yep.
You wait and see. Let's see. So, yeah, I think he's back, and he's going to have his work cut out for him. But we'll see. And the people who cover him say, too, if he is going to retire, and nobody's ruling it out. I mean, at his age, maybe he says he's had enough with it. But at his age and stuff, but the people cover it say, if he is, he's sure not acting like a guy who is. So, I mean, yeah. I bleed orange. Was Tennessee not in pretty bad shape when he took it? I'm in a mood on this one tonight. Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from Pearl. Pearl is a great coach. All right. I don't give a crap what he's doing at Auburn. He did bring them out of the tank. What did Barnes do with Tennessee? It ain't like Barnes took over a loaded team when he come in. That program was in pretty rough. What he missed the tournament with the first 2 years, rebuilding the roster.
Yeah.
And the third year, he's just rolled from there. I think we had the Sister Jean year where we got put out. And then we had the freaking Purdue, the phantom foul call. We had COVID year. We had 2021 was
Oregon State.
Oh, yeah, I got blown out in that one, didn't they? 2022 won the SEC tournament, got beat in the second round. From there, Sweet 16, Elite 8, and at least Sweet 16. This your best run in Tennessee history. We'll see where it goes from here. I mean, the ceiling, it's national championship, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely say that.
Yeah. And then the floor now is Sweet 16.
Yep.
So we'll see. Yeah, I had to go there, General. Sorry. It was all. It was the first thing I could remember on that season. It was still a pretty good season that year. We just had that one.
Tennessee wins that one if Cal Alexander wasn't hurt.
He was out in that one, wasn't he?
Yep, he missed that game. So we had to put John Fulkerson in, and that was before John Fulkerson was who he was. So we got dominated by the big 35-year-old accountant. So unfortunately.
Best team that Barnes has had so far. This one, last year, 2019.
In all honesty, I'd rank that 2019 team above any team. That team could have won it all. They had the opportunity to win it all. That Purdue game, which is just so heartbreaking to end the way that it did, because that team was a different level of elite in my mind. That's the when I think of a Tennessee basketball team, that's the team I think of. Maybe that's just because I was a kid, but that's just, or not
That
really a
was a
kid.
pretty
That's
stacked
younger.
team. I mean,
Yeah,
Bone, Bowden, Turner, Grant, Schofield, Kyle Alexander.
that's
And
just
then you
that's
mentioned
nice.
Fulkerson. I mean, Fulkerson,
Yeah,
Lee Pons were like guys
coming
who
up.
come maybe give you 10 minutes or whatever. Uh, no, Kevin, 2019's one lost to Purdue on that
Yeah,
freaking 3-point attempt at the end. 2018's the one that lost to Loyola, actually. Okay, I bleed orange. You're on a roll tonight, man. So glad your Auburn Tigers won tonight. Glad you'll get to pull for them and your boy Pearl in the next round. So I guess you're happy tonight. But yeah, I think I would go. I think 2019 had the most talent. Uh, who's the best player of all three of those teams?
Connect.
Yeah,
There's not a question in my mind. Is Connect to watch what he did, just especially considering I got to watch that team in person multiple times, seeing him play the way he did. Um, there's nothing I would take Connect over. It's hard to say I'll take Connect over Grand Admiral. Like that's just a little bit of an absurd statement, but just considering the fact that I'm here at UT, I watched him in person, and he was the team. Like he was Tennessee basketball last year. So he's definitely, I would say, the best.
yeah. I mean, just the way at times it's like I really feel like there's times Barnes said, "Give it to Connect and get out of the way."
Yeah, that's was the majority of the game plan. Most of the games, it was just like Connect. We need 9, 3 straight
When he
possessions, make 3 threes, and it's like Tennessee's back in it, or Tennessee's got a commanding lead now. So it was crazy to watch him take over games the way he did. I mean, he'd run down the court. You know what he was doing. He was going
yeah,
to shoot it from 40 feet, or he was going to drive it to the basket, and there was nothing you could do about it. The only guy
yeah,
that
he
could.
was.
Well, I'm not even going to go there. No, never mind.
There's a dude in the portal. I can't remember the name. North Dakota.
Oh, the Eagle staff.
Is that yeah? That's his name. I think was it Jack or I can't remember what it is. Anyway, but he, I don't know. He's got a little bit of that look where he could be possibly a Barnes type guy. Now I don't know all about him. It just like the numbers, the game a little bit kind of remind me some of Connect. And I wonder too if Barnes takes a look at Zakai Ziegler's brother. I mean, he had 11
Possibly.
11 points per game at St. Peter's, and they're pretty bad, if I'm not mistaken. What could he actually do on a real team? And especially with the relationship he has with the Ziegler family,
Mm-hmm.
having to fill ever how many slots that they fill. And I don't guess, I've not even checked to see, but I'm guessing Tennessee did not get Chance Mallory today. I've not seen anything on that one. And just kind of reading the way things were, it didn't seem like they were getting him anyway. I want to look at the player rankings and see where he went. And if he ended up going to, they said that NIL was starting to come in a little bit in that one anyway. So could have been anywhere. But I mean, it's basically going to be a focus on you've got quite a few slots to fill. So Ziegler's brother might be able to come in and help some because you're going to need point guards next year. No doubt about it. I'll find Mallory here in a little bit. Anyways, but
Can I answer my question?
what's your question?
The big orange guy in chat. Yes, I'm a student at UT. Get my master's. Don't live in Stokely. Live in an apartment in West Knoxville. Also, I never got to Levi Clark before. That's the first. I guess. I mean, he's only been on the team now for a few months, but that's the first. I would consider that a compliment. I wouldn't shy away from the fact that he's not a good looking feller. So I would consider that. I'd consider that a compliment. Thank you, sir.
I'm actually thinking, I thought the same thing. I think that's who it was. I saw when I thought the exact same thing last night. Obviously, we didn't see Clark today,
No,
but
he's in a little bit of a slump. Currently batting
they had to set him today.
.077, and well, he's batting .077 in SEC play so far. So kind of
especially after Bargo come in on fire last night.
Yeah,
And it worked out. Mallory committed to Virginia. Okay, well, good for him.
go Hoos.
Seemed like a weird commit. I mean, Virginia doesn't even have a coach. Right. Well, they're getting Odom guy, it looks like, though, doesn't it? So,
yeah, I work with the guy, and he's a huge Virginia fan. He hates it. He's so mad about the hire.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he keeps me updated on all the Virginia athletics. So, and he's not a big fan of the hire whatsoever. So,
all right. Yeah, I think we're going to wrap up there. Overall, good day for Tennessee athletics. I mean, baseball, the two freshman pitchers today were just we've got something on Sunday, and I've been saying it that with Coons, and I've been saying it, we need to see some more of Krenzel on the weekends.
Yeah.
And there you have it. We don't need to see Combs out there on the weekend. He's a midweek guy. We're starting to figure it out pretty well. Loy has been excellent. Steve got hit a little bit last night, but for the most part, he's been really good. It was good to see Franklin 2 days in a row throw heat to end the game. I was really happy about that. Good day with them. Obviously, great night to get to the Sweet 16 as well. No baseball tomorrow. They did wrap that series up. Lady Vols do play tomorrow night, 8 o'clock against Ohio State. That's a big one. Ohio State has not lost at home all season long, so the Lady Vols got a tall task ahead of them. But they play like they did last night, they're going to be a handful for Ohio
what time
State.
is that one?
What's that?
Do you know what time that game is?
8 o'clock.
Good. I'll be off work by then.
8 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll be live with you right after the game tomorrow night. So we're going to wrap up on that one. But any final thoughts before we
Go Vols.
Is that it? Go Vols?
Yep, just go Vols.
Yep. Short, sweet, and to the point. He's Kerry. This is Frank. House of Orange. And in the words of Kerry,
Go Vols.